Warning, this podcast contains adult language, dark humor, alcohol consumption, and spooky shit. You've been warned, motherfuckers.
Are you ready to get spooked? Hey guys, welcome to Coast to Ghost bonus episode.
Booooonus.
This is a thank you to all of you guys for getting us to 1,000 downloads in our first month.
Woo! Woo woo!
Yay!
We sound really excited.
Yay. Silence. Utter silence. We all just died.
Utter silence. Crickets. So you guys picked it. We put a poll out there for you guys to choose what the bonus episode covered. And you guys decided on Japanese horror stories.
Excellent choice,
I think it was rigged. I think it was rigged by Sam because she really wanted it.
She made like 10 different Twitter accounts. She's like...
I mean, I can't confirm nor deny that.
God damn it.
Hey, regardless, it was a good choice. There were some really awesome stories out there.
I think so too.
There really was. But guys, before we get started, we got our first Patreon supporter.
Woohoo! Woo! I didn't even know we had a Patreon yet.
I mean, we did, but we haven't even advertised it out into the universe yet.
Is it your mom? Is it Mama Bear?
No, it's not Mama Bear.
It's a real person.
It's actually our first real listener.
So your mom's not a real listener? She's not going to like that.
It doesn't count.
She'll get over it.
It's super exciting, though. We weren't expecting it because, we
really
haven't told
is.
anybody about it. Heather didn't even know it existed.
I was just going to say, nobody even told Heather.
So, big shout out to Brandy Terry for becoming our first Patreon supporter.
Yay!
Yay! So, guys, listeners, Boo Fam, if you want to become a supporter, for as little as $1, you can get extra episodes, you can get ad-free episodes, you can get included into giveaways, which are actually going to be starting within the next month or two. Yeah. Pretty awesome. And hopefully within the next few months, you'll actually get videos of paranormal investigations.
Yes.
Yay!
Yay! There's like, what?
I don't have any equipment to do that.
But KK has all the equipment for us to use in Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, God damn it. So if you want to become a Patreon supporter, I have the link in the show notes. Or if you don't feel like becoming a monthly donor, you can always do a one-time donation to our PayPal. Our email address will also be in the show notes.
And for the record, all of that goes back towards the show and hosting site costs and research databases and you name it. So it's not like, we're going off on a fancy vacation. I don't know. We might one day, but for now.
Additional swag, giveaway items, costs to go to conventions, paranormal haunts.
It goes back into the show. You name it.
It's going to help us. It does. All of it pretty much will go back into the show.
Yes. Awesome.
Yay.
Yay. Well, let's do this thing.
I'm excited.
Let's do this, Booooonus.
So, Boo Fam, we have our first bonus episode guest with us, Mr. Scott Fuller.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I thought she was going to say Scott Peterson.
Shit, that escalated quickly.
Wrong type of show.
But it's great to be here. We did Colorado last week, and that was so much fun. I thought we should do it again, and here we are. He's
like, I thought we should do it again, so here we are. And he's like planning everything.
I found the experience acceptable, and so I don't know.
Yeah, so y'all haven't.
Keep going. You're doing great.
From Colorado, and we're actually recording this after that because we record in advance, but we're releasing this first. So, Scott, how did you get here? Tell us where you came from. Your mom.
Yeah, specifically. You mean actually? What do you mean?
Like
by By
You know,
car.
Car,
do you
boat,
do
plane.
you have another podcast, perhaps?
I do. Thank you for the plug
there we
segue.
go.
Yes.
Wink, wink.
I do. Heather and I, actually a more sober Heather and I do, called Status Pending. That one's an investigative, kind of more serious podcast, and I have one called Frozen Truth, which is also investigative and serious.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize until right now that was you. Frozen Truth. I did not realize that until
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
that's me.
Lindsay.
I had no idea.
She's like, yeah, you do sound familiar. Okay, now.
Got it.
Makes
That's
sense.
me.
It tracks.
Yeah. But those are both a lot different than your guys's. It's more, serious and investigative, and this one's just kind of kick off your shoes and talk about ghosts and have fun. So I like listening, and it's
It
fun
is.
to be on, too. The Colorado episode was a great time, and here we are for the Booooonus episode.
I was editing my track, trying to, like, silence out some background noise on mine before I sent it to Sam, and I was like, y'all, we're gonna lose a lot of listeners because I was super fucking giggly in that one. In the Colorado
Whichever one came
Holy
out last,
shit.
I was giggly in, so it's fine. Like, I irritated myself.
Oh, the Arizona.
That kill her.
You're like, I hate that bitch.
Damn. As long as you come back as a ghost.
I will. Well, speaking of ghosts, let's talk about some Japanese ghost stories. Scott, do you have one for us?
I do. I got two, so we'll go around the
do
campfire,
it.
right? And I'll give you my first one first. I chose, you guys, I'll give you my first one first, yeah,
Brilliant.
which is good.
I love the order.
Amazing
I thought
choice.
we would start at the beginning. You guys let me pick my Japanese mysteries / ghosts and spirits, and I chose the women. I went with the Onas. So my first ghost story is Yuki Onna. Onna in Japanese means woman, just means or female. So Yuki is kind of the name of
Did
the
you just call
spirit.
me a yucky
So-
female?
Yes, I heard it.
Everyone
I witnessed
heard
it.
No, because
Can confirm.
this one's this one's not so yucky. This one's kind of more spiritual. My second one's kind of scary. I mean, she's too
Nice.
real. But this one's more ghostly in almost a innocent way, kind of nice way, but also not really because there's also death that she brings on you. So Yuki Onna.
Same with every woman.
Exactly. I mean, it's just a matter of time, really. Japan, very, very ancient culture. So there are different origin myths for Yuki Onna from all over the country. And it's kind of amazing, actually. So there's a kind of a twist on all kinds of different stories with this one woman. But the most mainstream version of this woman, this ghost, is that she was a woman who was reluctant to go into the bathtub, basically. And she was forced to go into the bathtub. And when she was forced into the tub, she disappeared. And all that was left behind were thin, fragmented, floating icicles in the bathtub.
God damn it, Elsa.
So that...
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah,
Your
that's
ass
not
is going
the
down the
Disney
drain.
version here.
God damn it.
That's where it comes from, but there's also it's basically how it seems like this is how you freeze to death. It's like the spirit of those who freeze to death was what they all have in common. So she's described as inhumanly pale or even transparent that makes her almost
Feel
invisible.
her pain, girl.
Almost
I glow in the dark,
So seen
motherfuckers.
right now.
We're equal opportunity here, okay?
Sorry.
well, not so fast because she's also very often nude. She rarely wears clothes.
She's
Nude.
what?
And when
nude?
she does,
Oh, well, that's Sam.
Our fourth co-host.
That is, can confirm.
so she's very beautiful in that, albino way, I guess. But despite her is described as inhuman beauty, so you're kind of entranced when you look at her. Her eyes terrify you at the same time. So as you're mesmerized by her beauty, you also can't look away.
Are they like black holes or something?
Or does she have the icy blues?
I think they're probably blue. I don't know for sure, but I think they're not demonic, but they're just, you look at them and you know something's wrong. Like you're about to die in a very interesting and painful way. but there's
At
nothing
least
you
it's
can
interesting.
do. Right.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, she's like the kiss of death. She's like the last thing you see before you die. And usually it's freeze to death. So it seems like sometimes she's satisfied when you just die. But otherwise, she can get a little feisty. She is at other times more vampiric, draining her victim's blood or life force. I was waiting for something there. No one jumped on that. All right.
I was going to, but it's okay.
Well, I was just about to ask if she was one of the first succubus.
Yeah, that's what she is, right? That's basically what she is. There was no reference that I saw to that specifically, that origin, but yeah, I mean, she's got to be. It's basically the same thing.
Speaking of sucking,
No.
sorry. I have something for you.
What?
Okay.
Always a great transition.
I'm so sorry. Succubus made me think of sucking, which made me think of blowjobs. So, did you guys know that blowjob?
He's like chugging his beer. now.
I know. The word blowjob was originated, I think it was in the European area, whatever, in Europe, way long ago, and it was actually called a below the belt job. So then it just turned into blowjob.
That makes sense, because
You're
I have
welcome.
always wondered, you're not, like...
Blowing. Exactly. I mean, some people might be... You there? But, it's probably not how
Is
it
this thing
originated. Okay, continue, Scott. Sorry about that.
It tracks.
I don't know where to go with that.
Said just like a man.
It's not that I'm ungrateful. I just don't know where to go from it. So actually, now that I said all that, yeah, she occasionally, it says right here in this article, she occasionally takes a succubus-like manner. So there you go. Yep.
Ooh.
Preying on the weak-willed men to drain or freeze them through sex or a kiss. So she seduces the weak-willed men and just kills you that way, I guess.
Sex or a kiss, those are two extremes.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on your customer, I guess. It just depends on your prey. But if you're going to go, we're all going to die.
I mean...
that's not the worst way to...
Might as well go out fucking.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Please.
If there's a bar in the afterlife,
one last
it's a
one.
pretty good story. So, actually, what they say about this story, it's actually just the saddest part, except for the dead, weak-willed men. But they think, historians think that the stories came from people that lived, Japanese people who've lived through the centuries by themselves in the middle of nowhere, or childless old couples, or mountain men, who, when they hear a blizzard knocking on their door, they take hope in that it's this Yuki Onna, and that's they're going to go in kind of a loved way, or if that makes sense, they're going to peaceful way. Yeah. So kind of a sad part to the legend, but they think that's where it comes from. And the only other thing I found here on Yuki, actually I found a lot, but I don't have time to read all the different stories. But when, in one region of Japan, the Yuki Onna would come visit an old couple on a snowy night to warm herself by the fire. And when late at night the Yuki Onna would again go out on a journey, the old man would attempt to take her hand to stop her. And when he noticed that she was cold, before his eyes, before he knew it, the girl turned into a world of snow that excited the house, that exited the house, that word would be, through the chimney.
Santa.
So it's kind of like a freezing to death. Yeah, reverse.
I mean, it would
Santa.
make sense with that last paragraph you said.
Wait.
Yeah. So it's not only... It's the
exciting
origin of
through the
Santa.
chimney.
So how did she die in the bath?
Exciting through the chimney. When she was forced to go in there, she just melted instantly.
The water was too warm.
She's did
ice.
not want to go in the tub. But sometimes you got to go in the tub. I mean, tell your 3-year-old you got to go in the tub sometimes.
I just wonder, because I used to be scared of drains, like bath drains, and specifically toilets.
Yeah.
Because of it. It's because of it.
Yes. And even to this day, as a 34-year-old, ew, that's old, but I'm scared of snakes coming out of the toilet and biting my ass.
No, I'm scared of spiders.
It does happen. Like 14 people a year die.
No,
that
but
way.
No, but
That's
have
not
you
true.
seen all
Why
the
do you
news
know that
articles
statistic?
It's not true. I
say
just
that
made
like
it up.
snakes came through the toilet? It's a thing. It's horrible.
Scott already looked it up. It's not a thing.
I don't.
No,
I don't
it is.
think it's a
I will
thing, but
show you. It's
everything's a
horrific.
thing.
It's gonna happen to me. It's gonna happen to me, and you're gonna feel bad when it does.
I would feel pretty bad.
Probably not. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna be like, "That dumb bitch."
I
Put
would.
that toilet seat down next time.
Goddamn ghost, leaving the
Always
toilet
with
seat up.
seats.
God damn it.
So that is Yuki. That is
Yay,
Yuki
Yuki.
Onna.
I like
Yay,
it.
Yuki.
Creepy bitch.
Let me see if I can remember how to pronounce this.
Is it exit
Is it furnace?
or excite? Firmus or colonel?
Is it Colonel?
That's what I said. Or colonel.
All right, so mine is technically a creepy pasta legend. It's a ritual.
Wow, it's like 10
Yes.
different things. This just
And-
keeps going.
I know.
It's technically
a fable.
a creepy pasta urban
Novel.
legend fable novel
Yes.
fairy tale / bedtime story.
Prayer.
Yes. Write that down.
I can't even remember all that.
And I, for one, I love the rituals from creepypasta. They creep me the hell out, but they are so fun to read because they are almost so tempting to do, even though, you know, shit's gonna happen.
Treat yourself,
Not gonna
bitch.
happen.
Do 'em.
Let's do our ritual. And possession.
If you do them, then snakes come up from the
Listen.
toilet. And
All right, so this ritual is called Hitori Kakurenbo.
What is it with cocks and crotches? Come on.
I'm done here. I'm done.
God damn you. So, this game had originated in Japan. It is a game where you invite a ghost or a demon to possess a doll and played
Why would
hide
you do
and
that?
seek
it's
with
always a
them.
great
Why?
idea.
All right, so they go down the list of what you need. The first thing you need is a stuffed doll with
Heard
limbs.
this before.
I'm writing this down.
Write that down. So it cannot be a human doll, mainly for the fact that the spirit will more than likely possess that doll and you won't be able to exercise it.
So you mean like a rag doll? Like a
I've heard
plush
this before.
type
This
doll?
is a
Not like a
good
porcelain
one.
doll?
No, it can't be any human type of doll. It has to be like a stuffed animal or
Like a teddy bear or like
I
something
think
like
two
like a
that?
girls,
teddy
one
bear.
cup.
Yes,
This one.
yes.
It's a good one.
I don't think I've gotten that
I
far.
thought you were going to go with 2 girls, 1 cup. I'm like, I don't want to hear about it.
I actually watched that
It's
video when I was in high
disgusting.
school. It is disgusting.
It's not real,
Don't
is
do
it?
it.
Oh, it's real.
Yes.
No, it's real.
It's 100%
How do you know it's
real.
real?
Have you
You
watched
watched
it?
the video.
Yeah, it looks real, but is it real? Is it real?
It's real.
I don't know how you know that, though.
It's real.
I mean,
People have
when
fetishes
shit
and they're
comes out of
disgusting.
people's body.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty real.
I choose to not.
He's a conspiracy
Think that.
theorist. He's going to break this one down
I
and
also
tell you how it's not real.
I don't want that to exist. I don't like that.
Me
That freaks me
either.
out.
All right, so the next thing you need on the list is rice. And you have to have enough rice that can be used to fill up the stuffed animal. This is used to attract the spirits to that doll. The next thing you need on the list is something from your body. Usually it's like a fingernail clipping, but this is used so the doll can represent you. So that way, if you harm the doll, you end up harming yourself.
So it's like a voodoo doll.
Some
Yeah.
voodoo shit.
It's
yeah.
a really easy
Yeah.
doll to make too. So far, it's not an expensive doll.
So far it is.
He's like, I can make
He's
this
doing
tonight.
it right now. Pouring the rice in.
Go to Walmart. And,
Oh, shit.
All right, so there's a special note that says never use someone else's body parts. The results would be that the doll.
The result is you get thrown in jail.
True.
Oh, damn it, Dahmer.
So, if you use somebody else's body part, that means the doll will then represent that person and it won't work with you in the game. And Lindsay's dead.
Why me?
Yeah, Lorena Bobbitt.
Why am I dead? Why did I die?
Yeah, why is Lindsay dead?
We'll get there.
The fuck is
Are there
happening?
creepy kids in this one?
Is that why we're recording this video? Are we making like a creepy video?
I don't fucking know, man.
God,
We're in the dark as much as you are. Hey, who else wants
Because
to kick
I'm
Sam
going to use
off
you
of
later,
this?
Lindsay.
Later?
Yeah, I'm going to use you later as an example.
Sorry.
So, all right. So the next thing on the list is a sharp-edged object. So this is to anger the spirit by stabbing it.
That'll do it.
So
I was trying to find my knife. I
not-
don't have it.
it's okay. It's okay. Because they tell you cannot use a knife or scissors because the doll will stab you. So it's best to use a needle or a toothpick.
After it comes alive or before it comes alive, he'll stab you.
After it comes
Oh,
alive.
so the first thing it does when
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
This.
The next thing we need is red thread. This is to sew up the hole that you made in the doll. This will symbolize blood vessels and act as a restraint later in the game.
We are so fucking doing this.
The next thing you need is salt water or salt. This will be used later to rid the doll of the spirit. The next thing is a bathtub.
Oh Lord,
with
here
water.
comes Scott's ghost. She's like, fuck
I was
it, I'm
just
not
gonna
getting
say,
in.
here comes Yukiana.
And the last thing you need is a very safe hiding spot for when it's the doll's turn to find you.
The attic. I don't have one. Shit.
So it's hide and seek with a crazy ghost coming up. Or
Yes.
a crazy doll.
With a tiny little stuffed animal
With
teddy
Chucky.
bear. He's not gonna hurt
Chucky,
you.
bitch!
Yes.
Stuffed animal teddy bear, bitch. He's not gonna hurt you. He's like corduroy. You remember that little bear? From the little shopping mall?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not like
So
like
now we're
Corduroy.
going to start the ritual.
Ready.
To start the ritual, guys?
Do we have to count down?
So you're going to give your stuffed doll a name. For this, I am choosing the name
Satan.
of Lindsay.
It's Lindsay. She named it Lindsay. You're a bitch. Should have been Garth. Garth Furmus. Colonel Garth Furmus.
So after step 1, okay, Colonel
Colonel
Garth
Furmus.
Furmus.
Colonel Spook. The second step is to cut open the doll and take out all of the stuffing.
Well, no wonder it's pissed.
I would be too if my insides were out.
Step 3, fill it with rice and the part of your body.
Ew, that's so gross. Put the dick in there.
That's what she said. Fill it with that body
Oh,
part.
God damn. Fail it. Step 4. Sew the doll back up with the red thread. Then wrap the remaining red thread around the doll. This will bind the spirit to the doll. Make sure you are completely alone in the house.
So there's no one there to help you
Like,
at
why
all.
the fuck would you do
Right.
this?
I don't know, Lindsay.
Just
it's
wait.
your doll.
Oh.
So step 6. Get the bath prepared by filling it with water. Then wait until 3 a.m. sharp to get started.
It's always 3 a.m. I swear to God. Shit, I'm just going to bed.
Right? The next step is make sure all of the lights are off in your house. The only thing you can leave on is the television set. It will change depending on where the doll
The
is
TV?
at. Yes.
So the snow show will be on, and then what? The 12 o'clock news, and then what? A soccer game?
It doesn't specify, actually. So the next step is, once it's 3 a.m., take the doll with you to the bathroom and repeat the following. The first tagger is Lindsay. The first tagger is
It's
Lindsay.
creepy.
The first tagger
This
is
is-
Lindsay.
He says as he's sitting in a dank basement right now.
This is creepy Aretha
Wait,
Franklin.
something's coming out of his fucking roof right now, too, by the way.
If you see anything moving
I saw
behind
that
you, let me
too.
know.
Creepy Aretha Franklin.
He looked.
And you do this with your eyes closed. And after you repeat it 3 times, you place the doll in the bathtub.
It's gonna get wet.
That's what she said.
Giggity.
After placing the doll in the bathtub, go to another room. Do not look back. You may see the spirit possessing the doll. If it makes eye contact with you, it may come
Fuck.
after you.
Why would you do this? Like, I've got a great idea, guys.
I'm fucking doing it tonight. I don't care. I have some rice somewhere.
Count from a 1 to 10 slowly, and then head back into the bathroom. Once you're close to the doll, you say, "I found you, Lindsay." You then take your needle or toothpick and then stab the doll and say with your eyes closed, "Now, Lindsay is it. Now, Lindsay is it."
I'm gonna fucking
Now,
nightmare.
Lindsay.
Yeah,
Is
because
it?
you found
I
it.
found you, Lindsay.
I love those crazy eyes of yours.
Right.
You will leave the object inside the doll.
We're 4.
All night?
So this is a detachable object.
It's a toothpick or a needle. Yes.
Scott's
You're
like,
not leaving
what?
your penis inside the
No.
doll.
Scott's like, what? I've been here all
Strap on.
night.
I mean, unless you have a detachable penis.
The game doesn't work.
He's like, she's not. My doll
Just
isn't staying
clarifying
in the tub.
for the
It's
home
just
game.
coming with me. Haha.
Unless you have a go-go gadget dick.
You guys went straight there. I didn't.
come
It could be anything.
on.
It could be your
You're
foot.
weird.
It
Pick
could
one
be,
body part. What you gonna pick?
You know,
I don't think he's going to choose to
What?
stick his dick in a teddy bear.
You
don't
never know.
kink shame.
not in the crazy doll. No, that's
Right,
the last
that's what
thing
I'm
that's
saying. If that's where he wants to put it, it's fine.
Anywho.
Oh, just wait.
Fuck. I need another
Next,
one.
you're going to pour some of the salt water in your mouth. Don't drink it all, as it protects you from the spirit in the doll. And you will need some at the end of the ritual.
Gargling with salt water? Like, what? Is your throat
Yeah,
sore
we're gonna
from that
go-
body part?
Whew. Alright. With the cup of salt water in your hand, head towards your hiding place. It is recommended that your doors and windows are unlocked.
It's also
in case
recommended you
run
don't
into
fucking
trouble.
do this. Jesus.
They should have put that at the beginning of the steps you need to take.
Did you read the fine print?
I gotta
Make
wait
sure your
for-
windows and doors are unlocked, because this is probably a bad idea.
Yeah. So in case you run into trouble, and that way if you have friends outside the house, they will be able to help you.
Oh.
At 3 a.m, you've got all those
That's
friends
dedicated,
outside.
stone, drunk ass
Your
friends.
milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, you know? They're all just standing out there waiting.
And damn right, your ass is possessed.
They're waiting for Lindsay.
Found you.
It is also recommended to have your phone on silent and dimmed as low as possible in case of an emergency. Make sure the salt water remains in your mouth. Do not attempt to swallow it.
It's supposed to be in your mouth the whole time. Like, what if you fucking
Yes.
scream because this little fucking creepy teddy bear is coming to kill you? Ah, hold on.
Well, that's the
hold on.
point. You have to keep it in your mouth so you're not possessed if he does find you.
Fucking get your ass out of there, you dumbass. Like, who the fuck cares?
Remain as quiet as possible as to not alert the doll.
What the fuck?
If the doll finds you, it will stab you with the object you stabbed it with, then possibly try to possess
Who
you.
wants to play this game?
You did. You said you wanted to
I know,
earlier.
but who wants to be stabbed?
Keep the salt water near you at all times.
In your mouth.
In your mouth. Don't swallow.
Always
can't spit
swallow.
Here are the terms in ending the ritual. To end the ritual, leaving your hiding space and search for the doll. It may not be in the bathroom. When you find the doll, you will then drink the salt water and pour the remaining in a circle around the doll. Close your eyes and shout, "I win. I win. I win."
Yeah, fuck you, Lindsay, I win.
The spirit in the doll gives up and the game ends. Now you must dispose of the doll by burying it with salt. If not, the spirit will attempt to enter the doll. Now, here are the warnings that come with the game.
Scott's like, I'm
Which
done
there
with the
are
rules and the
many.
warnings, okay? I'm going to bed.
Right? Don't fucking do
The
it.
warnings seem pretty obvious.
Like,
from
don't
the
start at
description
all.
of the game.
Do not play the game for more than 2 hours. The longer the spirit is in the doll, the harder it is to remove.
This is also like the side effects of The Cialis side effects and the
Viagra.
commercials you see.
If it's been more than 4 hours, consult your
No, and
doctor.
then he calls and he's like, it's been more than 4 hours. Did you take the medicine? No.
My doll is still possessed.
Well, it sounds like you just need to take care of it, but how?
Oh, sir?
Did you stab the doll?
Did you swallow the salt water?
Oh my god!
Did you spit or swallow, sir?
Oh, goddamn.
Fuck.
Do not turn around when heading to your hiding place. You may see something very disturbing. Do not play with somebody else in the house. You must be alone to play the game because the other person might be found and hurt. Do not play with more than one person. It needs to be one person and one person
Yeah,
only.
so nobody can corroborate your fucking story about a psycho little teddy bear.
I thought the same thing. Because there is a good chance that they could be possessed. The game can be played at 3 a.m. sharp. 3 a.m. is the time that the spirits are most active.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if the fucking toilet seat's still up, motherfucker.
I can deal with a lot of shit, but
Do not turn on the lights. Do not fall asleep no matter how tired you are.
Lindsay.
The doll will eventually find you and possess your body, as the meaning of this game is, if you find me, you can have my body.
That's what she said.
Giggity. Do not attempt to leave the house while the game is still going on, unless you want to end the ritual and the doll is not in the house. It
so
will
if you
find
run out
you.
in the street, it's gonna like come after you.
Where'd
He's
the
in the
doll go?
bathtub.
Ooh,
But
Yep.
what if your friends are out in the yard? Remember?
they gotta come in.
Shit's gonna go down.
They're not going to help you anyway. And when you call 911, it says keep your phone on. But when you call 911 at 3 in the morning and say, this doll is coming to stab me because I just spit out the salt water, they're going to hang up on
Sir,
you.
what did you take?
Exactly. They're not going to come get you.
Be like, we need
You're
to
screwed.
commit him. 72-hour hold. Something's wrong with this fucker. Get some sleep, sir.
Did you take the red pill or the blue pill?
I don't know. It was a bowl of pills. I just stuck my hand in there. Taste the rainbow,
Do not
bitch.
play this game. God damn it. Do not play this game if you are easily frightened or have a weak heart. This game is life-threatening and very frightening. Better still, don't play this game at all.
That should be number one.
You could have led with that.
That should probably be right up top.
It should.
That can be the name of this game. This game is called Don't
play
Do
this
It.
game. Oh, okay. Guess we're playing Yahtzee.
Alright, do not give the doll your name or the name
Thanks,
of
Sam.
someone you know. You or they could be
Yeah, right,
cursed.
Lindsay? Fuck. I'll check in on you at 3 a.m. Don't worry.
Messing around with rituals like this is dangerous. They are serious rituals, not games. But you called it a game.
Right.
If you make a
Exactly.
single mistake, then expect to meet a nasty end. You have been warned.
I really have because it was named after me.
Nice.
That is my creepypasta ritual.
I'd say you guys should do it for your Patreon, but you can't do it together, right? So you all
Well,
have
hey,
to do
guess
it
what?
separately.
I'm busy that
Bitch, I'll have
day.
you on
Yeah.
speed dial.
At the same time.
I'm busy that day.
I mean, we could all have our Skype set up in the bathroom where the doll is at.
That's true. It doesn't say anything about Skype.
And it said keep
In fact,
your
it
TV
says
on and the
keep your
channels
phone
may
on,
change.
so
But
it's
my
not
question
against
is,
the-
what if I have Netflix?
Right. It'll say, are you still watching The Office? Yes, bitch.
Yes, I'm still watching The Office. Don't judge.
Then it just loops Fuller House over and over again.
Are you still watching Ted Bundy tapes? Fuck no. Change it.
Sure am. This is the story of Botan Doro, and it is a super old, I guess you could say, cultural tale. So it came about in the 17th century, and it has been adapted many, many times throughout the years. So I'm just going to tell one version of it and just know that it changes a little bit here and there through the years. But basically, there was a young man named Saburo, and he was a very well-off man, and he fell in love with a girl named Atsuyu, and he was crazy about her. They were addicted to each other, basically. And their love was said to be as happy and pure like that of a beautiful peony flower. So they wanted to eventually get married. They're dating for a time, and they're just waiting for the right moment to get married. Well, this ends up turning into what is now known the tale of the peony lantern, which is Botan Doro. So one day, Saburo, the guy, gets really ill, and he couldn't see Atsuyu for a while. He's contagious, and he's not allowed to be around her. So he's trying to get better as quick as he can, but in the meantime, he is told when he finally does get better and he goes to see her that she's dead, that Atsuyu died. So he falls into a deep depression. He's grief-stricken, and he basically just gives up on life. Well, every year they had the Obon festival, and he went this year just to try to get out of the house and to use it as a time to pray for her soul. Because in Japanese culture, they're very into the afterlife and the ancestors and everything like that. So he goes to this festival and says, hey, just let her soul visit me. I miss her. I need her. So on the last night of the festival, he is going home, and two women walk past him, and they were carrying a peony lantern. And as the lantern crossed one of the women's face, he looked at her and he was like, that's Atsuyu. That's her. So he runs up to her. He's in complete disbelief. And before he can even say anything, she looks at him. She starts crying and she says, they told me you died of your illness. I was so heartbroken that I asked my maid to come with me to get away from the town. But here you are, alive and well, and I'm so happy.
Shit.
So she was told that he died. He was told that she died. And they meet up at this festival. So, of course, he's overwhelmed with joy. He's like, I'm so happy to see you. I've missed you. And that night, they get together. They do what consenting adults do. And
They got freaky.
she got dicked. And
She got dick.
I'm sorry, is that too crude?
No, I love it. I'm going to use it.
Oh.
And so after that, they met up every night after. And one night, after several weeks, one of the servants in his house was like, who is this person who keeps coming in the house every night? Because
It's him. He's dicking her.
well, she's a servant in his house, but she never knew her before. So she's like, who is this woman? Who is she coming into this house? She tiptoes past the room and she peeks in, and she is instantly alarmed because what she sees is her master, the master of the home, having sex with basically a decomposing body.
Oh, Dahmer. It's Dahmer.
Nice.
No, it's Ed Gein.
That's the climax of this story.
Giggity.
So,
Oh. I did not see that coming. But
yeah.
Coming.
So, beside him was a skeleton that was moving and turning in its sleep, or a decomposing body, not necessarily a skeleton.
Oh
Some
my
say
God.
skeleton, some say decomposing body.
Those are different, I think. Those are
They are very different.
different things.
But point being, it was dead.
I think that it's the difference. If it's a skeleton, it can be kind of Halloweenish and less. But if
dead.
it's a
Whatever it was,
decomposing
it was
body, it's
dead.
straight up Dahmer. It's
Straight up Dahmer.
Or Bundy.
there is a difference, although not much
So,
of one really. But
The servant in the house runs to go get the priest because she's like, holy shit, something ain't right.
It's an exorcism.
So
He's giving the bone to bone.
So she goes to the priest, and the priest says, oh, well, the priest goes to talk to him and finds out that he thinks she's alive, but the priest tells him, hey, she died on her journey out of town. So she really did die. He did not.
This is getting really twisted.
Right.
Yeah. So she really did die. So what he saw, I don't, was it a spirit? Was it a ghost? Was it just him hallucinating? No one knows. Point being, he had something in that bed.
Well, if he was hallucinating, then the housekeeper was too.
Well, exactly. There was something in that bed. Like he had.
So the spirit would come in spirit form, and then it would end up in actual dead form.
Could be, or maybe he just was so grief stricken that he stole a body.
Maybe
know.
that he saw, like, people see what they want to see, or people, like, he saw her, but then the maid actually saw what she really was.
Right.
Kind of like American Horror Story, the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I love American Horror
very first
Story.
episode?
Oh, first season.
Yeah.
I should say first
The
season.
murder house. Yeah.
The first season.
Yeah.
Yep. The old woman and the young. Yep.
So, after that, of course, he's heartbroken again because he's re-experiencing her
Poor
death
guy.
again. So the next day, Saburo is found lying dead in his bed, his body entwined in a hug with the skeleton.
Wow.
His face was in a content smile that reflected perfect bliss. So,
Fuck you, Scott.
of course, bliss, whatever, perversion, it's all the same. So, so it's been adapted through the years. Of course, there's several different versions that have little twists and turns in it as it's gotten passed down through the years, but it turned into a book, and it actually turned into a very popular cultural play. Like lots of schools and stuff will perform this story.
In Japan.
Schools will
yes, in
perform
Japan.
this as a
However-
play where a dude is fucking a corpse.
In Japan.
Like, is it like
mean-
elementary school?
Like the story of love.
In a play, you could make all the necrophilic stuff kind of, you're dead and you just fall over and then
He's like, it's fine.
It's just,
Everybody's
it's just a lot of dry
It's not
humping.
like
Yeah.
over the pants stuff. It's fine.
right. I was gonna say it'd be a great movie.
Yeah.
If someone could
However, here's the kicker to it being a play. Apparently, the actors who play the ghost roles are cursed. So if you take on this role, something bad might happen to you. So this dates back all the way to 1919 when two of the actresses playing Atsuyu and also the maid, they became sick and they died within a week of each other.
Oh my God.
wow.
So anybody who's played these roles, it's said, will suffer some ill fate. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's
It was
That was
really
good.
good.
Maybe don't.
That was a good story.
Maybe if you're an aspiring actor, don't take on that role.
Maybe don't do it.
Yeah.
That was good.
So anyway, that's all I've got for that.
Guys, I actually have like a tiny story for
Nice.
you that's really creepy.
Yeah, we
Go
see
for
it in your glasses.
So, I had it pulled up because it reminded me of it. So, there's this Japanese story, and there was a married couple, and they had a young son. We're getting into so many arguments that one of them had talked about getting a divorce. One night, after their son had gone to bed, they had got into a big fight. The dad got so pissed off, he killed the mom. So, as the child was still sleeping, he takes his wife to the swamp and throws her in it. His son starts acting weird around him. He's not entirely sure why. And the dad, he just has the smell of death on him. And no matter what he does, he takes a shower, he changes his clothes, he still has the death on it. So one day, the son is sitting there talking to him, and the dad was like, "Hey, is there something that you want to ask me?" And the boy is like, "Yeah, there is." And his father was like, "Is it about your mother?" And the son says, "Well, yeah." And he said, "Well, I suppose you're wondering where she is." And he just looked at him. He was like, "No, I'm just wondering why mommy's face is so pale and why you've been giving her a piggyback ride all day.
Scott's like
Nice.
all into this. He's like, yeah, I know where this is going. Yeah.
That's like I was telling you guys last week. That's like those really
Yes.
short, like
Yes.
2-line
Yes.
creepypastas.
I love
those.
those.
Those are awesome.
It reminds me of the movie Shutter.
Yeah.
Not Shutter.
Shutter Island?
Yeah, Shutter.
Shutter Island?
No, not Shutter Island. It's Shutter. It's the one that had whatchamacallit.
Get your IMDb out.
I need to.
Hold on. What is it?
Dawson's Creek, Fringe.
Oh,
He's the one that played Dawson.
Shutter 2004?
Yeah.
A young photographer
I
and his
should know
girlfriend
that from
discover
my high
mysterious
school
shadows in
days.
their photographs after a tragic accident. They soon learn that you cannot escape your past.
Yeah, it turns out like she's still there and his neck is hurting and everything, and then he like takes the photograph and she's like there on his back.
I
Stage
think
5
I've maybe
clinger.
seen that, yeah.
Right.
The Japanese version is much scarier though.
What's cool about Japanese culture is it's so old. Like they've had a long time to really creep
Yes.
like that. Like
All right. So my first story is about the Purple Mirror urban legend. Have you guys heard of it?
I've watched Black Mirror.
no,
Is that the same?
We're not talking
the
about
same.
Netflix. So Purple Mirror, or in Japanese culture, it's called Murasaki Kajami. It's one of the most popular urban legends in Japan. So, like, if you were to ask anybody and you just say the words Purple Mirror, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. It originated with a girl who was super vain. She was, like, always looking at herself. Now, I've heard two versions of the way it started. One version is that she was super ill and she was in the hospital all the time. She had, like, an immune system issue. And the other one is just that she was like a really vain girl. She was always worried about her looks. She did not want to become obese. She wanted to be the most beautiful girl. So she would always look at herself in a mirror and try to make herself prettier and lose a bunch of weight. Well, she was actually like just skin and bones. Like if anybody looked at her, they would think that she was super, super sick. So her mom gave her this mirror. She painted it purple. Obviously, it was before the time of, like, you know, the wall mirrors and the door mirrors and the ones you buy at Walmart and all that good shit. She fell in love with it. One day, for some unknown reason, she painted it purple, and according to her own words, this was because she liked the color. So her actions were strange, though. Suddenly, coming back to herself, the girl looked in the mirror and she was shocked. She tried desperately to peel all the purple paint off, and it was stuck there. So in the end, she couldn't get the purple off. She ended up, I don't remember exactly how it went. I think she smashed it because she was pissed off. I believe that's what happened, and it shattered into like 100 pieces. But then her 20th birthday came around and she was killed. At her funeral, several people, somehow or another, young people, got a hold of pieces of the purple mirror. And then in the months following her death, these people ended up dying randomly.
Huh.
On their 20th birthdays. If you say the phrase purple fucking shit.
Purple fucking shit.
Papa.
You're safe. You're not going to die because you can't say it.
Purple mirror, purple mirror, purple mirror. Apparently, if you say that 3 times on your 20th birthday, you're going to die. So these kids started dying randomly in the months following the funeral. Well, when people started looking into it a little bit more, they found that each one of those individuals had a piece of that mirror in their room. So, like, the parents, when the girl died, they couldn't find the mirror anywhere. And they knew that it was her favorite mirror. They wanted to, I guess, bury her with it or whatever. But they couldn't find it until these kids started dying. And there were pieces in each one of these kids' bedrooms. So, since we're all over 20, we're not going to die. So, if we have any listeners under 20, don't say purple mirror 3 times.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Super weird. I don't believe it. But I can't try it since I'm over 20.
Just have a loved one.
not so
try it,
loved
who's
one.
under 20.
There are several variations of it too. Like there's like an English variation of it, but since this is like a Japanese episode, I'm not going to go into that. Yeah. So just don't say it if you're around the age of 20. Really.
Should we go in reverse for our second stories?
Good advice.
Like Heather, say the second one and go backwards?
Fucking putting me on the spot?
I mean, we don't have to.
So the second one is a Japanese urban legend, obviously. It's called the Red Room.
Your stories are so colorful tonight.
I know, I told her when I picked them, I'm like, I'm in a colorful mood today. So this one is an urban legend about a pop-up that appears when you're surfing on the internet. They say that if you close it, you will die. So there was a boy. Fuck you. There was a boy who was addicted to the internet. He heard an urban legend at school one day.
Addicted to the internet. Oh shit.
Oh fuck yeah. So he heard an urban legend about the Red Room from one of his friends at school. So obviously he's like, oh shit, another thing on the internet. This is awesome. I'm gonna go home and check it out. And so that evening when he got home, he went on the internet to see if he could find out anything more about it. All of a sudden, a small window popped up with a red background. And let me just show you guys what it looks like. It's like the old Windows platform, like 95.
Are you pulling up
Yeah, don't do that.
the pop-up? This is probably not a good idea.
It's just a screenshot. It's okay.
How'd you know? Like, are you?
He's a creepy motherfucker. Who invited him here?
I know what site you are on.
She's freaking me out, man. Hold on. I will show you. Gotta turn my rotation on here so you guys can get the full gist of it. All right. It looks like this little guy. There we go.
Can you back
It's like
it
a
up
little
just a
banner
tad?
thing, and it has Japanese writing. Back
And
that ass
preferably
up.
not
Yeah.
shake it.
Internet Explorer, bitch.
Okay.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Okay, so it's just like a tiny red pop-up banner that has like some Japanese writing on it. I have no idea what the fuck it says. But, so all of a sudden it'll pop up with a red background, and written in black was the message, do you like the Red Room?
And he's like,
Do
oh,
you
let me
like
click
the
this
Red
shit.
Uh-huh. And he's like, oh shit, okay. So the boy closed the window, but if you close the window, it will pop up again. And he kept closing it, and the faster he would close it, the faster it would pop up. And the faster he would, you know. Sorry, he's probably like 11, I don't know. But, so.
I mean, that's what 11-year-olds do.
No, I have a 10-year-old.
Right, it's that time. Don't go in his
I'm
room.
so sorry.
No.
It's gonna happen.
So eventually the boy noticed that the question had changed. Now it read, do you like the Red Room? Do you like the Red Room? And in the background, a childlike voice said, do you like the Red Room? Ooh, was that creepy?
God, that was creepy.
Fuck yes. I've
That was
been
pretty good.
practicing that.
God damn.
Sitting at
After
the
my
office all
getting
day,
off
just
theme song, yes.
saying that over
Scott,
and over.
fuck off.
I don't know how people
she
They
gets
just
off a
steal
lot
my
at work.
credit card numbers. No big deal.
apparently. I wonder why now. It's like, I put up with this all day. I'm getting
$50
Chipotle.
at the Chipotle, damn it.
Fuck you.
No, it was like 100 or
Yeah, it
something.
happened
that's right.
again on my other bank account. Yeah, fuck off, people.
So didn't it say, do you like the
Yeah,
Red
my
Room
bad.
the
It
first time
said, do
too?
you like, and then it had a question mark. It didn't say the full sentence. That was my bad.
Oh.
The second time it added the Red Room. So after the childlike voice says that, the screen went black and a list of names appeared in red. At the bottom of the list, the boy saw the name of his friend, the one in school earlier that day that told him the story. So all of a sudden the boy became aware something behind him, and he lost all consciousness. I said that weird.
No, you didn't.
No, it's not fine.
fine.
Consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, it sounded
No, that's
weird.
right.
Okay. So the next day, the boy did not show up at school, and there were rumors going around the school that he had died. That, like, the Red Room curse had gotten him, whatever. So it was actually true, because it ended up being that he committed suicide, and he painted his room red with his
Oh.
own blood. That's why it's red. Yeah, that's pretty creepy, though. A little
Yeah.
11-year-old.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So for my second one, it's not necessarily a story per se, but it's rather just kind of a series of events. And I'm pretty stoked about this one. It's super interesting. So in Japan in 2011, I'm sure a lot of us have heard of, there was a massive tsunami. There was actually an earthquake that caused the tsunami. It was massive, and like close to 20,000 people died. It was unexpected. They didn't have enough warning and all of the above.
Way to damper the fucking mood, Lindsay.
I mean,
That's going to create some ghosts, though.
He's like, it all tracks. There's
Yeah.
ghosts now.
Well,
so yes, with almost 20,000 deaths comes an uptick in paranormal activity. So shortly after the tsunami, people started reporting neighbors who are, okay, sorry. So after the tsunami, people started reporting neighbors appearing at their houses and coming and sitting down in puddles of water, which is weird because they're like, why is my neighbor coming and sitting down in a puddle of water?
What is it with all these baths tonight?
Well, to make it a little bit more alarming, the neighbors that they saw were all neighbors who had died in the tsunami.
Yeah, a little bit.
oh, that's different.
So, now this was just like the first set of instances that people started reporting. Now, some of them said, okay, it's strange and disturbing. Some of them said, hey, maybe it's a loved one. People had different reactions, but people are starting to talk about it. They're saying, hey, this weird thing happened to me. And then they're like, oh my God, that happened to me too. So it's starting to spread around town. So then other people started seeing figures walking along the beach. Now, of course, keep in mind it's a tsunami. So that's kind of where it came in. And then all of a sudden there's all these just figures walking the beach. There was one man in particular who he couldn't stand to go outside because he kept seeing eyes looking at him in puddles outside. So keep in mind, again, there's water everywhere. So when we say puddles, it's because they had just had a big freaking tsunami. So there was also a popular reverend around that village who saw an uptick in possession cases. And these people were allegedly possessed by spirits of people who died in the tsunami. So, so after the tsunami, he himself went down to kind of look at the area and see what he could do to help and assess the damage. And he didn't have anyone that he had lost in the storm, but he was just trying to help. And he was completely devastated by what he saw there. But once he got there, there was even a change in him. And so he basically started rolling around on the ground and making animal noises. And he was really freaking out his wife and his mother. And he would just start saying all these off the wall things like, you all have to die. You all have to die. And of course, it was really disturbing to his family. And his wife actually, her first instinct was like, oh my God, I have to divorce him. Something's not okay. But she was looking for an out. Okay. Clearly she was looking for her out.
Right? She's been looking for a while, apparently.
And they persuaded him to go to a priest who was able to drive out the spirits. Beyond that, because that's just one of the possession cases, beyond that, several witnesses spoke of seeing ghosts of people that were lining up at supermarkets and shops. But here's the kicker again, the grocery stores and stores where they see these people lining up were all destroyed in the tsunami. So the stores are not actually there, nor are the people.
Wow. So in the afterlife, I have to run errands?
Yeah.
I'm stuck in purgatory?
That's what he's got, yeah.
I have to go to the store?
Gotta pick up the milk.
that.
Gotta pick up the dry cleaning.
Yeah.
The worst.
That would
God
suck.
There have also been a lot of ghostly figures seen running away from the waves. So down at the beach, they're like running away, which is really sad. And as they're running, they just kind of disappear into thin air. So some of the creepiest reports, this is really interesting. I was really intrigued by this. Some of the creepiest reports and some of the most frequent ones were actually from taxi drivers. And they said that they would pick up people around town and their passengers would be saying, hey, take me to this place. And they'd be like, I can't take you there. It's gone. It was destroyed in the tsunami. And then they would disappear in the car. And there were actually accounting problems for several taxi companies because they started their meters.
Nice.
And then had no one in the car to pay it. God. So it caused accounting problems for a lot of the taxi companies.
she's so concerned about this. It caused accounting problems, you guys. Accounting
embezzlement.
Issues, okay?
Somebody was embezzling.
I think that's cool. And doesn't that kind of prove it's a little bit real?
Yes.
Isn't that evidence?
Yeah.
Either that or the guy's like,
unless that they were
like,
doing some off-job shit they didn't want nobody to know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's picking up his mistress.
Now, one driver said he picked up a young woman after the tsunami, and same thing, wanted to go to an area that was destroyed. And when he told her, hey, that doesn't exist anymore, she goes, oh, have I died? And then disappeared.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
She's so proper about it.
And all of the taxi drivers said these were, in their mind, living, breathing people.
Oh,
they
wow.
had no idea it was ghosts. They looked very full-bodied, and they had no reason to think otherwise. And they said that they weren't scared of them either. They just seemed like normal, average people. Also, emergency services reported getting lots of calls saying, hey, we need help. We're stuck in this crumbled building or whatever. And they would go and no one's there. And there's no way that they could have called. So all these ambulances are being pulled away from actual scenes to go answer these phantom calls.
And this is all in 2011, right?
Yeah. And
after
and
the
since
tsunami.
then.
I really
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it was that
okay.
long ago that happened.
I know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then there was one more of the possession stories that seemed to really stick out. And this person, and they left the names out on purpose, was apparently possessed by 25 people who died in the disaster. And
at the same time?
Yes. And one of them was the spirit of a middle-aged man who wanted to know where his daughter was. And he said that he saw her near the water when the earthquake happened. And when they replied she died, he apparently committed suicide and left his body. And there was another spirit that came forward after that who was very agitated and angry. And when the person trying to rid the spirits from him said, hey, who are you and where are you? The ghost replied that he was at the bottom of the sea and that it was very cold there. And they said, well, come to the light and, release yourself and move on. And he said, but the light is so small. There are bodies all around me and I can't reach it. Who are you anyway? Who are you to lead me to the world of light? So this dude is just saying this back to them.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Now, eventually, apparently, they were able to rid all the spirits from him and he was okay. But they still have sightings of all of these tsunami spirits even today.
That's crazy.
Wow. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but I like
it's a really
the 911 calls.
Yeah, that's what gets me. Like,
because those are probably logged and recorded.
Right.
And,
that's really good.
Dang, that was a good one.
All right, so that's all I got.
All right. I have Kuchisake Onna. So my first lady was kind of romantic in a way, like, she was maybe helping unfortunate souls find a peaceful end. Not so much with Kuchisake. She is a much more recent figure than my first story. She goes back actually a long way, but there aren't as many interpretations of her. Her deal is that she'll walk up to you and she's wearing a mask, and the mask has like a cut across her mouth.
Like the Dahlia type cut?
Horizontally. Yeah. she asks you, do I still look pretty? And
I've heard this.
if you say no, she kills you with scissors. Mm-hmm. If when she asks, am I pretty, you say, so, you're average, or if you throw something at her at that moment, like if you happen to have candles on you, it says,
A vagina
then
candle?
throw
I have
candles
one of
at her.
those.
This,
Right. Also, who carries candles with them?
Like, who the
Besides
fuck
Lindsay.
throws
Right.
something at people?
Right.
Stop.
but if you do that, it's probably going to save you because it will confuse her and it gives you the chance to run away while she's confused. You can run away. So her backstory is this woman was mutilated
but
by
what if
her
you say
husband.
yes?
And if you say she looks pretty, that's a good question. Maybe
That's
she
what
lets
I'm
you
assuming,
live. I'm not
but
sure.
okay.
No, she'll take her mask off and say, do you think I still look pretty?
Yes. Right. And then she takes her mask off. Okay. So, this allegedly starts from 1979. Like, it's much more recent. It spread throughout Japan, caused panic in many towns, or even reports of schools allowing children to go home early or only in groups, escorted by teachers for safety because of a sighting of Kuchisaki. But her story is that she was married to a soldier, a very poor soldier in status and wealth, and she was the best looking, most beautiful woman in the entire village that they were from. And this soldier who was poor, they got married. Although apparently then off at war or whatever, the woman, the wife, Kuchisaki, cheats on him with a much more highly statured soldier. She had the affair with a superior officer. The soldier, the lesser soldier, her husband, was confronted the officer. I'm back on track. Confronted the officer, did you have an affair with my wife? And the officer basically told him, yeah, what do you expect? Your wife's pretty hot. Like, what do you want me to do? And the inferior officer was so impressed by his superior's honesty that he didn't blame him for the affair. He blamed her. And so he mutilated, he slashed her with a samurai sword, apparently across her face. And this led to her suicide because she survived that, but she was no longer the most beautiful woman in all of the village. And so eventually she, I think shot herself and fell off a bridge.
Jesus.
After she was cut from
That
ear to
escalated
ear.
quickly.
Because she couldn't handle that. Her beauty was all she had, so she couldn't handle. She had no identity afterwards. So after that, that's where she came from. That's where the legend came from in the 70s, and it's taken pretty seriously, like it has been over, like in Nagasaki, in the prefecture of Nagasaki, and in other areas of Japan. In 2007. A coroner found some old records from the late 1970s about a woman who was chasing small children who was hit by a car and died shortly thereafter. And in the coroner's report, the woman's mouth was slit from ear to ear. She's been seen in America, in Texas.
Does she have a visa?
In 2018.
Did she have a visa?
Apparently. Well, we don't know if it was her, I guess. But a woman wearing a hospital mask seemed to have pulled it down for a kid in a hospital, and the mouth was split from side to side in McKinney, Texas, like 6 months ago.
6 months ago?
6 months
Jesus,
ago?
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. That's it.
Who
That's
wants
all I
to
got
go to that
on
hospital with
Kuchisaki
me?
I do.
Ona.
I
Yeah.
thought the kid answered correctly.
So I think that is the deal, though. Like, if you say yes,
You're
then
good.
I don't know. Maybe she
Yeah,
moves on
you're
or
good.
something.
It says if you
Okay.
say yes, she would take the mask off and ask again. If you say yes, she will cut your mouth just like hers. If you say no, she will cut you in half.
So really, no matter what, you're fucked. It doesn't
Unless
matter
you
what
say
you
so
say.
and throw candles at her, because that, like what Scott said, it'll give you a chance to run away.
Okay, but who figured that out? who was the one?
Some
who
old
said,
granny
I'm going to try to
who
throw
was carrying
Someone's got a
candles
candle.
with her after leaving fucking Goodwill or some shit.
Bingo? After leaving bingo?
Like, who is
It was bingo daubers. It wasn't
out?
candles. Jesus.
Good. I love it. It's my favorite
Yeah,
one.
that's crazy.
She lives in Texas now.
I'm okay
so
with that.
Wow.
I mean, she's miserable
She's
in
getting-
Texas, so
She's getting close to me.
So crazy. The tornado might just sweep her right over to
You
you.
don't want to come here. You got an ugly ass face, but we got tornadoes.
ugh, I love it. That was my favorite one. I love that one.
That was good.
When it, like the first part of the Wikipedia article, I couldn't stop laughing because it's the way they phrase it.
Mm-hmm.
It's they get like right into it. Like, so here's the deal: she wears a mask, and if you say no, if she asks if you look pretty, if she says no, or if you say
Maybe a
no,
little bit.
she's going to cut you with scissors. So, all right, like we've all dated women like that. I've been
Love
there.
me and tell me I'm pretty.
Pretty much. And every man knows the right answer to that question anyway, no matter who's
Right.
asking you.
So now
Yes,
just men
dear,
in
and what do I
Japan
get
just
for
throw
that? I get-
candles at their women all the time, just in case.
I'm just being safe.
God, I love it. I love the Japanese.
No
horror
wonder they
stories.
have to take naps at work because they're fucking staying up all night. So
I thought that was
women don't kill 'em.
Mexico.
No, it's
Is
Japan.
it? I didn't know that.
Like, they're like forced. I think it's Japan or China, one of them. But they're like, their bosses make them take naps during the day so that they'll be more productive.
Oh.
So you turn
I'm
out the
definitely
lights,
okay
or-
with that.
Yeah, basically, they get like nap time, like kindergartners.
Is it like my kids' daycare where they play the music,
God,
the
that'd
soft
be
music in the
amazing.
background? and-
Basically, like, let's all grab our sleeping bags and get a juice box. And then when they wake up at 3, they can play the ritual with the teddy bear. Right? Got it.
Ah, I love it. I love this culture.
All right. Last but not least.
This wasn't intended to be my final one, but I was researching it at work and I could not stop laughing for the life of me. And
You better make us laugh then.
my last story, it's not really scary. I mean, yeah, it's a little menacing, but not really. It's called the Kanamara Matsuri. And what that translates to is the Festival of the Steel Phallus.
This is going to be good.
Giggity.
Can't wait.
A
whole
whole
festival?
festival. It's brilliant, and I love what they
Take
stand for.
me.
But,
so to speak, yeah.
so, legend goes, in ancient Japan, a vile, sharp-toothed demon fell in love with a young woman. To prevent any young man from having her, the demon hid inside her vagina.
Like my candle.
Yes.
No,
All
it's
of
not
these
cool.
stories are coming full
So
circle.
you pick this woman up at a bar, and you do everything right, only you find a demon.
No, but have you seen the movie? Have you seen
Wow.
the movie Teeth?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I get the gist
Dude,
though.
it bites
badge's
it
teeth.
off.
So, on her wedding night, she starts to make love with her husband. And
Oh, I've heard
the
this.
demon
Yes.
inside of her bit off her husband's penis during their wedding night.
Yes.
So,
Watch that movie.
after this happens twise,
What?
She didn't learn
no,
his
no.
lesson the first
Wait.
time?
Oh,
She got married
separate,
twice.
Separate
Oh,
husbands.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Did it grow back?
Oh, how stupid
Like
is
a
he?
sponge?
Let's try it again. Maybe this time
No,
it'll
he's
turn
like,
out better.
the first time he's like, I was cold.
I can do better. I can do better.
so the first guy leaves her or he dies. I don't know. It didn't say. But then she gets married
died.
again. And then on her wedding night again,
Wow. You said this wasn't scary?
I mean, to me it wasn't.
He's
Pretty
terrified.
scary. To the men in the audience, let me just say on behalf.
So,
You're the only man that listens to
That
this.
shit checked.
What was the word you used?
Menacing.
Yeah, it's menacing.
so after this happened a second time, the woman sought help from a blacksmith
A blacksmith? What the fuck? What is happening?
who fashioned an iron phallus. So, after the blacksmith fashioned the iron phallus, the woman went home and inserted it into her. And the demon repeatedly bit down, causing his teeth to shatter,
It's like fishing.
I'm stressed out right
allowing
now.
her to live allowing her to live a normal life.
So
she got an
from
iron
now on,
tampon.
It just gummed it.
No, she got an iron dick.
Boom.
But it cured her.
Well, it did and it didn't, because from now on they're just getting gummed, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
isn't that the best kind of blowjob, though?
I've heard.
After he lost his teeth, he left the vagina. So she was free to live a normal life.
Where did
Okay.
he go?
I'm so upset.
So
I need a moment.
The blacksmith
But-
threw me
So-
off.
But word on the street's probably out on this one.
Is there a
right?
cream for that or something?
Don't go there?
Like, oh my god.
Did you just
Yeah.
ask if there's a cream
She
for
goes
that?
to a freaking blacksmith.
So,
Like, go to an OBGYN. No.
oh, I don't think they existed.
Also, I
back
don't think
then.
they're going to be able to help with teeth down there. That's probably your dentist.
your orthodontist.
If you tell your, they're gonna send you to a shrink if you say there's a demon.
It's like, my vagina keeps biting off my husband's dick. Do you have anything that can
That's
help?
called herpes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Jesus.
I thought that was called the clap.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm still not over it. Like, she's like, oh, and his penis fell off, so she goes to a blacksmith. What?
Blacksmith.
For a coat of arms. Why?
Because the iron, it prevents like damage against demons,
worked.
against spirits. Did you not pay attention to Supernatural, bitch?
Listen, they did not cross into this realm.
this
It's
is totally
supernatural,
different.
okay?
They didn't go over sex.
They should
ed and
have.
No, but
Supernatural.
iron, ghosts, demons.
No,
Iron.
I get that, but like, I just
You just can't handle the iron.
like, yeah, okay.
Oh.
That's the least disturbing part of this story. I have to say. That's
Coming from a man's perspective, he has to say.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
All
Yeah.
right. So after that,
oh, it's not
incident-
over. Oh, good.
Oh, there's
No, but it's
more.
not over.
She says
Let's keep
incident
going.
like
This
it's
is great. It couldn't get
normal.
much worse.
So after that, the phallus became a shrine. And in the 1600s, sex workers would pray to the shrine for protection against sexual transmitted diseases.
Because
And
teeth
demons.
are sexually transmitted, right? I must have missed that.
Apparently, that's what they kind of narrowed it down to, that the teeth represented sexual transmitted diseases, and I don't fucking know. And then,
So it really was like
yeah,
syphilis
kind
or
of,
something.
yeah.
Or herpes.
Probably.
This is a
like
metaphor,
not a
yeah,
literal
for
interpretation of Old Testament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So others would also pray
Dick
for
rot.
fertility and abundance in business and life.
God.
Okay. So they have a
They
festival
do.
of the giant.
So starting
Iron.
in 1969,
Of course. Of
People-
course. Of course.
I know.
This whole story's made up.
So people would go to the shrine in secret,
I bet.
and in 1969, I think it was Kawasaki was the town that this is located in. They were like, people should be able to go and pray to this in like public. They shouldn't have to hide. They shouldn't be discriminated. So in 1969, they created the Kanamara Matsuri Festival. And parades are held every year in April, which unfortunately we missed it. It was the beginning of April. So
It's a hell of a parade. What's in that parade?
So
I
what
wonder.
they have is they have two penis or phallic floats. One is pink and one is black. They are supposed to represent they are supposed to represent the shrines of the phallus from what the young woman had used to fend off the demon. Yes,
still
they
do
do this
that?
every single year. And they would
God.
Lindsay,
car-
check your
He
message.
sent me a dick. I'm gonna
they
be
would
so mad.
cart Kakusaki.
Quit.
God damn it. So it's the beginning of April every single year, and they will have a parade across town, and people will be able to come and pray to.
So
I bet they
spiritual.
will.
Walked right into that one.
And people will be able to pray, and they'll be able to celebrate, and
Did it rise again on the third day?
so... The best part
Nope,
of this
it was
is they
chopped off.
have a bunch of candies that are shaped like penises, and they have like these glasses
So
that have
it's
like
a
the noses
bachelorette
that are
party.
penises.
Bachelorette
Yeah,
party.
that's what I'm saying.
The best thing about this is the creators of this festival, they wanted people to be able to come together without fear of discrimination, and all of the proceeds that come from the shrine go to...
Stop saying that word.
What, the shrine?
The shrine or the festival?
You keep saying
The proceeds that come from the...
There's 10.
God damn it. So
I'm done.
the shrine, the proceeds that come from the shrine and the festival actually go to HIV and AIDS research.
Oh, that's good.
So it's an amazing
that's
festival. I've looked at all the pictures. It is fun.
I bet
The
you
legend-
have.
I bet you have.
Yeah. The legend is pretty funny, but it looks like they're all having a good time, and it all goes to a great cause.
They are.
Okay, I
having
gotta
So-
see pictures.
That's my
Let me look it up.
last
Me too.
story. But it's not as creepy, but it's still a good Japanese.
I was pretty creeped out.
I'm gonna look it up.
He's
Japanese
stressed out right
Dick
now. What's it
Festival.
called
So,
again?
What's it called?
It's called
that what it's
Kanamara
called?
Matsuri
Okay,
Festival.
you're gonna have to spell that.
So it's KANAMARA,
Got it.
and then MAT. Okay.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Oh, they got a gallery. Oh, hold on. Oh, jeez.
No way. It's actually called Penis Festival.
It is.
No way. That's a giant float.
I told you guys.
They're so happy.
I can't
So
find
it's
it.
That's what she said.
Oh, there it is. All right, I got it.
Why
Wow.
is this a thing? Oh, you guys. wait.
What?
Are you looking at the glasses with the penises?
No. No. Hang on.
Are
Check
you sending
this
something?
chick out. Hang on. Let me see if I can.
I can't see it. It's so
The
bright.
penis hat?
Oh
This
my
is a
god.
penis. I love her.
I love her.
So this is why you like research your travel destinations, because what if you're going to
Oh
Kawasaki
my
and you have no
God,
idea this is
is
happening in April?
amazing.
I mean, you're going to get a very
Look.
pleasant surprise.
Look, and
All
then
of a
in
sudden
this
there's
there's
bunch of
a
chicks.
parade.
they blurred out the penis. Like, you can't be offended if you're at a penis festival.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that too.
Right.
They pixelated the...
That
That's
is
fucking great.
I knew you guys would enjoy this one.
amazing.
Wow.
That was
It's
the
a good
best.
legend, but it's also a good festival
This
for a
one
good
has-
cause.
You guys, this one has white
there's Nate.
confetti shooting out of it.
Naked
I'm
guys,
done.
too.
I am done.
The penis has
It
cum
has
coming
white
out of
confetti
it.
coming out of it.
Let me see.
Hang on.
This is bizarre.
Her eyes are so big.
You're going to have to send these to Heather so she can put them on our Facebook.
I don't know if they'll
see
let
it?
you put them on Facebook.
No.
No.
Turn it the other way.
I know.
It's super bright white.
I'll text it.
No, unfortunately. But as soon as I saw that today, guys,
yeah.
I'm like, this is going to be the perfect one to end with.
Wow.
That's
Well,
a tough act to
then.
follow.
Yeah, that's a good ending.